Hey, welcome everybody to our weekly Tech and Trends live stream. We've been doing these for a while now, but today continues. Check out any of our past ones on a bunch of different topics in data, analytics, AI out on our YouTube channel, or look for any future ones out on LinkedIn like you found this one, or on our website. But anyway, to get to it today, I'm with Cognos Paul here to talk about one of our favorite applications that we have, CogBox. I'm sure some of you have heard of it before. I'm sure most of you have heard of Cognos Paul if you're on here, but we wanted to dig in a little bit deeper and see what CogBox is, what it has to offer, and have Paul give us a little bit of a demo. So welcome, Paul.
Thanks for having me.
And as we go through this, as always, feel free to jump in, write comments, leave questions, CogBox, Cognos related, whatever. Try to stump Paul. Jump on in. All right, Paul. So maybe we start off with what is CogBox for anybody who hasn't heard of it?
So CogBox is a collection of tools and extensions and custom controls that I've written for Cognos over the years. I've been posting various JavaScript examples on my blog, on the PMsquare blog for a number of years. And with the release of Cognos 11, that now that we can actually add our own tools directly into Cognos, I've started adding some of those as well. So CogBox is the culmination, it's the collection of all of these different tools that I've been writing for basically myself. Whenever there's anything in Cognos that annoys me or I think could be done better, I usually write something to overcome the challenge that I'm experiencing. And yeah, that all goes into CogBox.
Yeah, I'm sure. At least I know that as a Cognos developer for a while, anytime you do a search for anything out of the ordinary on Cognos, you somehow end up on Paul's blog, um,
Yeah.
looking at some JavaScript, looking at something else to do. So this is Paul's way of taking his blog and making it available without having to do all that research, right?
Well, the embarrassing thing is when I run into a problem and I Google how to solve it, and then I find my own answer. So, yeah, Codebox was my way of reminding me this is how you solve it. So I don't have to keep on embarrassing myself every time.
Makes sense. So I guess who is Cogbox for other than you?
Well, Codebox is for mostly it's for the Cognos developer. So people actually building reports and dashboards in Cognos. Uh, and by extension, it's also for the end user, the people consuming the reports and dashboards. I've added a number of extensions for dashboards. I've added a number of custom controls that make the reports do wonderful things. So it greatly benefits the end user being able to have, expand and collapse crosstabs. It benefits the developer because now they don't have to go on to Cognoise or the IBM forums looking for this obscure JavaScript file that IBM doesn't support. And oh, well, you're going to have to figure it out yourself. And more recently now, it also helps the Cognos administrators. I've added a number of tools that makes administering Cognos so much easier. I'm really looking forward to showing that off today.
Yeah, for sure. Like I don't know. I think of it as a lot of the custom controls seem to add that interactivity that a lot of the, I would say, more recent additions to the data analytics world have that Cognos maybe has been a little bit slow at adding in. Do you
Yeah,
agree?
I would agree. Um, and I've actually talked to the Cognos development team a number of times. And the benefit of not being an IBM is that I get to do things quickly. So in IBM, there's a major development process where they have the product managers dictate what's going into the software, and it can take a very long time for them to add new features. Usually, if there's something that's really bugging me, I can get something into Cognos within a few weeks. And there have been a number of times where I've added something, for instance, the shortcuts menu. Now Cognos suddenly has a favorite system. That was actually something that they adapted from Paul, but I got there first in Cognos. And that keeps happening. I will release a tool, and then sometime later, they might release something fairly similar.
Hmm. Yeah, it's
And,
kind of IBM's research and development.
mhm,
um, yeah. So I guess with that, maybe we just jump in and show people what we have here.
absolutely. So I will share my screen. Let's do entire screen. We'll do screen one, and you should be able to see my screen now.
There we go.
Okay. So there are a vast number of tools that I've added, but let's start with the object search. So this is against my laptop. So there aren't many users in here, but let's go to the sandbox environment where we have a few more users.
When we're talking about object search here, Paul, is this a administrator or developer type function that we're looking at?
This is definitely an administrative tool. This will let you easily see, for instance, all of the users that you have in your environment. So in PMsquare, we've got 53 users, although admittedly, one of them is the default user profile. There's also, I think there's the anonymous user in here as well. But we've got every user that has ever logged into Cognos. And we can see the last time they've logged in. So I can see that you logged in today, about an hour ago.
Yeah.
The fun thing about this is that in addition to seeing all of the users, you can do things like open their My Folder. So this is what you have in the PMsquare environment in your My Folder.
Looks like I've been busy.
Yeah, if you've had, let's say, a report on a schedule that's running every 5 seconds, that takes 2 minutes to run, well, I can very quickly go in and go into the properties, let's close this, and remove that schedule. This is actually something that's happened once to one of my clients. And the only way to access an object in a user's My Folder outside of this is to go into their user profile from the administration console, which
Yeah,
looks
I
like
remember
this.
trying to get in through go through the admin console. You have to search for the user, get all the way down into there. Yeah, and then
Yeah, and then you can't even access the properties,
right.
or you can't access the schedule. You might be able to access the properties, but it's not very useful. Wow, the properties doesn't even work. That's embarrassing. Um,
And slow. I mean, being
yeah,
able to just pull up the users here is a
yeah.
big advantage.
Another fun thing is we can very easily see all of the groups and roles every user has. And this has always been a major challenge. So let's download. We can download the objects, open this, enable editing. So what do we have here? We have the same list that we saw before, but I also list out every user identity. So every piece of information your user has is in this list. So we can say, I want to see every person that is in the system administrators? Well, that's this list.
Wow.
And we can go even further. I want to know what user has what capability. So let's see. Who
Always
can
an issue when you're looking at licensing and just understanding what people can do.
Exactly. And I actually calculate what the license is based on this list. So here I list every capability, the license that it uses. So anyone that has the can use specifications capability is an analytics administrator. And there are 36 users in our environment that have that. There's 39 users that can manage content.
Interesting.
So I hope that we're in compliance.
Compliance with the license, yeah.
Yeah. And I figured since I have the capabilities listed out like that, why don't I do the same thing for all of the identities? So there are 37 people in the system administrator's role. In total,
How
there
does
are
it
45.
how does it gather that information, Paul?
So I wrote something that every time a user logs into Cognos, it extracts their capabilities and user information on login and saves it back into their user profile. So this is only up to date as of the last time they logged in.
Okay, gotcha.
That is an important note. It's the same way that Cognos handles the licensing screen.
The licensing tab on the manage panel, yeah.
Exactly. It only updates when a user logs in. So I'm doing something very, very similar. The
Similar
big difference is
functionality, but a lot more information than what's available there.
exactly. So you should not use this for audit. You can use it as a direction, but don't use this as the beginning and end for your audit information.
Right.
So if we look
Makes
at the
sense.
last modified date, this is the last time any information was updated. So we can see that Dustin actually hasn't logged in since 2022. Oh, Dustin.
What other functionality is here with object search?
Oh, anything that people have asked for. So I can show you every report we have in the system. I pull it in batches of, I think, 500 reports at a time.
Which,
It does
yeah,
take
it
a
can
lot
take
of
a
time.
bit here.
And if we reduce the number of fields that we're pulling, it'll load faster, of course. By default, the users list takes about a minute for every 1,000 users you have in your system.
So a little time, but reasonable if you have a little patience. Get a cup of
Yeah, if
coffee.
you have a ton of users, it can take some time. But this is every report we have in our system. So we can take a look. Another nice thing that I've added here is we can filter down where we want to search things. So I only want to see reports in user folders. If I do this again, this should now be a little faster, I hope. I don't think many of our users, there we go, only 143 reports in user folders. So we can see what the report is. We can see the location. So CogBox expand collapse, that's in Randy's folder. Various information about it. And we can even run the reports. We can open the run as window. We can edit it. We can open report documentation, which I will admit is a little janky. So we get a list of all the queries, the data items in each query, the variables, conditional styles. It gives you details. I'm sure that our UI team will give me a much better layout for this. The UI team actually revamped the object search. It was not nearly as good as it looks so much better than the original version. We can edit the report. We can download the specifications. So if I download specs, download unverified file. Thank you. We get the report XML.
Oh,
And we
nice.
also get the same janky output that I had before.
So if you, well, it's not as good as some other version control features, but downloading the specs, you could actually like save that off into a version control type thing, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So it gives you some extra functionality there that would be tough to do from an every individual report standpoint.
Exactly. And you mentioned saving that as well. So one thing that we could do is I've also added the downloading specifications to the actions menu for every object in Cognos in the portal. So if we do it on a folder, we have download all contained specifications, and it will actually go through. Might take some time. It'll be really embarrassing if this breaks for whatever reason. And what it will do is it will download it should download the specifications for every object inside here. And I'm guessing it might be breaking on the event. But let's hide that because this is getting embarrassing.
Gotcha. But you could get all of that information for every report. It's
Exactly.
almost like doing an export from the admin console. It doesn't have the import type capability, but at least gives you like all of that downloaded information that you could use as a backup potentially, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So it also gives you different information based on the object that you're pulling. So a report, you'll get the report XML, a data module. If we do download specifications, we'll get the JSON. If we're doing let's see if I can find a package. Where do we have samples old, models? If we download specifications on a package, oh, it didn't give it to us. It should have also given us an Excel file. I will have to figure out why that did not work.
So as a Cognos administrator, I see a lot of functionality here that I maybe wouldn't want everybody to have access to.
Oh, yeah.
What's the security setup like for CogBox?
So the security setup is, hold on, let me go back to here. Where is it? I am on the wrong desktop. Here we go. The security setup is based on a series of roles that you define for CogBox. So the object search is only visible for admins. There's an alert system. There are tools for dashboard authors, tools for modelers, report authors, and everything else is available to CogBox users. So only admins would be able to use object search. If we go into, let's make a new dashboard really quick. We go into the dashboard, we create. So in here, we have dashboard manager, view dashboard specifications, data module list. Only dashboard authors would be able to see this.
Gotcha.
We
So you
go
can
into data module.
set up almost like the regular Cognos security. You have certain capabilities that you can set at a group level.
And that keeps going basically everywhere. Let's find a data module that still exists. Great Outdoors. There we go. So the Great Outdoors, again, model manager, show module specifications. It makes it very easy to control who can see what. That being said, one of the biggest questions that I get is, I've just installed CogBox, why can't I see anything? Well, 99% of the time, it's because this hasn't been set up. So I actually wrote another extension called Setup CogBox. You click on that, and it will actually build those roles for you. So it'll build the admin roles, it'll build the dashboard authors, it'll add everyone to the CogBox admins role. Another change in Cognos 12.0.4 is that by default, extensions can only be 10 megabytes unzipped, a maximum of 10 megabytes unzipped. CogBox is a little bit more than that. So this sets the advanced configuration option to 60,000, to 60 megabytes.
Gotcha. And this configuration extension is pretty new, right? That one just got completed. So if anybody out there hasn't gotten or is working on getting CogBox set up on Cognos 12.04, let us know. We can get you this this setup
I
functionality.
literally just made it last week. But yeah, we had one client that was complaining about it and was complaining about how difficult it was to set up the security. So as I said before, problem in Cognos, IBM, it would probably take them about half a year to make that. Sorry, Rachel. But yeah, within
Gotcha.
2 days of the complaints, I was able to build this.
Quick turnaround for sure.
Yeah.
So for CogBox, we have a free version and a paid premium version. The functionality
Yes.
that we're looking at here for admins, where does that fall?
Most of the new cool functionality is only available in the premium version. Object search is not available. There's the download specifications, but I think the download contain specifications is only in the premium. CogBox shortcuts. So you have an add shortcut button everywhere. Every object has an add CogBox shortcut. That only exists in the premium. The changes that I've made, so you can now open the properties or edit directly from the shortcuts menu. I also added that to the recents menu. That's also only in the premium. A lot of basically all of the new tools that I add are going into the premium. If I feel that this is something that IBM is going to be releasing anyway, or it fixes a long-standing bug, I'll add it to the free. But for the most part, I do like money. So I try to add as many cool new things to the premium.
Sure. It takes Paul a lot of work to work on these. So
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. All right. Time flies by. So let's keep moving along and take a quick look at, so as a Cognos author was coming in and wanted to use CogBox, let's go through some high level of the functionality that they might be able to use.
Sure. So we'll create a new report, select the source. It gets annoying when you're needing to loop through the team content, samples, models, where is it? I've added the CogBox shortcut here. So if you made a shortcut to a data module or a package, it'll magically appear in here. So let's do this on Great Outdoors data module with calendar. There we go. So what do we have in here? I have not yet started adding in Cognos 12.04 or 3. You can now add your custom controls directly into here. I have not been able to add them in yet. I've not had the time, but they're all in here in the control creator. So there are a ton of very useful custom controls that I've written that are in here. Let's take a look at crosstab, expand, collapse, nested cell. So when I do that, it will automatically go to the pages and insert a page with the demo. So we'll go into here. Here's a crosstab. Let's go to the query. So I don't think this necessarily matches this query, this model that we're using, although it might. No, this is Great Outdoor Sales Data Module. Let's use that instead. Place, yeah.
So all of these examples are using the this samples data module?
It's using various sample datas. Great Outdoor Sales Data Module. Dang it!
So ideally, if people have the IBM samples installed in their machine, these samples should just work, right?
They should. I can't guarantee because the samples tend to change a lot.
Yeah.
So let's make a new crosstab really quick. We will do whatever, product line and product type in the top. Let's do order method type in the rows. And let's do, I don't know, return reason code. And we'll do return quantity. Let's put return quantity here. So we have product line, return quantity, product type, return quantity, and then order method type, return reason code. Let's add a subtotal to the return reason code. And now let's just move things in here. So we have, we'll put that here. Oops, this should say column. I'm going to have to fix that. Column goes in here and in here. We'll get rid of that. So let's take a look at this. The data ID we want to be product line. And we want the total column to be the first. So we'll just do 0. Or we could say first. So when it's collapsed, we'll only see return quantity. Likewise in here, we don't really need to add expand collapse there. We could if we wanted to, but there's only one measure here, so it doesn't make sense to have the expand collapse. In the rows, let's do order method type. And then let's take a look at this. So the control is this. So let's say it's now crosstab 1. Max height, 50 view height, 75 view width. So when we run the report, what will happen? We get an error on, what was that? Order method type. That is saying span row. Where's the problem? Here's the problem. It's not a string. There we go. That's not a number. Okay. So now we can do pagination. We're going to render the entire crosstab. And this will allow this to appear, but let's put it in here anyway. And we now have expand and collapse.
Nice.
And if you notice, as we scroll down, it makes the header sticky. If we do background color on here as white, by default, it's transparent. Now, when we scroll down, it correctly hides the order method type as we scroll down. Also, if you notice, the order method type is sticking, so you can always see what it is.
Fancy.
Yeah.
So you made a bunch of configuration changes there that that seem like pretty obvious to you since you've been playing around with it. But if somebody didn't quite know what configuration changes to make or how to set this up, how do they know?
So we do have a CogBox wiki. In Report Studio, or reporting, we have direct links to it. I think I've updated them, but now I'm worried that I didn't.
I think we have wiki information on more than what's there right now, but
Yeah, CogBox wiki. All right, I'm going to have to update the links. They're old links. So we do have a CogBox wiki, and most of the custom controls are detailed in here. So we have the expand collapse, crosstab expand and collapse. It lists all of the configurations, examples. There should be a screenshot here. I'm not sure why they're not showing up.
Yeah, we'll have to look at that. I know they were showing up. Yeah, quick call out here to our coworker Oliver, who spent a lot of time putting all of this information together. So yes, there should be a ton of information out here with screenshots that give you a lot of information on how to set all of these up if you're not quite as into it as Cognos Paul.
Yeah. So this is another example of free versus premium. I do have a crosstab expand collapse in the free version, but it doesn't have the sticky headers. And there are just more features that I've added over time that the free one does not have. I was not keeping the free and the premium one in parity.
Gotcha. Okay, so we looked at Report Studio a bit and what functionality is there. I know you've also done some things on dashboards.
Yep.
What might somebody find on dashboards? It'd be interesting.
Oh, there's a ton of fun things in dashboards. So let's select Great Outdoors. Data module. Let's make a visualization. So we will have a visualization that has, let's say, revenue as length. And let's do product line as the bars. Okay, very simple. Let's do another one. Let's do line. Let's say we want, let's say, revenue and planned revenue. Okay, that is going to be there. We'll do the x-axis as year and month. Oops. That goes here. Okay. So we've got revenue, planned revenue. We can add something else into here, make it a little bit more interesting. Let's do gross profit. Okay. Now in Cognos, everyone knows if you click on this, it'll filter that. That works great. But what I've done is I've added a new widget. Which one is it? It is the Viz's tooltip widget. We drag that in. And now let's save this. There's a bug that I've been running into periodically with dashboards where sometimes the properties don't appear. And that usually happens with new unsaved dashboards, and I've not been able to identify when that, I've not been able to track down exactly why that happens. Oh, that's annoying. And look, nothing's showing the properties now. Wow, okay. Is this a bug in 1204? So let's show one that I've done before. Where is it?
Yeah, if anybody else has seen this bug,
Yeah,
we'll have to get something logged with IBM on it. But
that's annoying. Okay, I do have one somewhere. Tooltip demo. Come on. So if you hover over it, this time it's a crosstab, it'll unhide. Huh, that should be hidden down there. That's weird. Oh, it's not taking the size of this into account. Okay, one bug I can fix. It's filtering the crosstab based on whatever you have selected here, and then showing you that. So if we do camping equipment here, it shows you the tooltip from this graph and shows you this crosstab. Other fun things I've added, you can...
So before we jump on there, I was just going to say, so as a developer, I know I get requests a lot to fit more on the page. Don't make the font smaller, but I want more columns or more information on this page. Seems like a perfect way to be able to have more information when you hover over something.
Exactly. Yeah.
That one got properties.
Yeah, I'll have to dig into why that's not working. I think something must have changed in 1204. It looks like it's specifically a problem with the Viz's tooltip, which is
So
annoying.
I guess on that note, if somebody does have CogBox and runs into an issue, what do they do about it other than you giving everyone your phone number to text?
There is a ClickUp board, and I was supposed to have added that here. What is the URL for the ClickUp board?
It is...
We have feedback and suggestions here. Ooh,
yeah, so if you have if it's pmsquare.com/cogbox-need-assistance
needs assistance.
need assistance.
Need assistance.
There you go.
Okay.
There will be a link to that available. But if you need help, there is a form here. I think it's in the main CogBox. At least it was working out of.
Yeah.
Get assistance.
There it is.
Yeah,
okay,
takes
so
you right there.
It looks like I should add that to. I should add that to dashboards and recording.
Dashboard one.
Yeah.
So there's a perfect bug to fill out on this form of I would like Paul to add.
Yep, CogBox edition.
This page. So fill out your information here. It goes to Paul and the rest of our dev team. We will take a look, get back to you, make sure that it gets handled. And then as Paul also mentioned, the Canny page, if you have ideas and things that you wish Cognos did that it doesn't do or wish Cognos did better, we're always looking for feedback here, ideas, thoughts. Paul comes up with a lot of them himself, but we like to hear from our clients and other people out there as well of what they would like to see.
Yeah. There's a ton of stuff that I'm also planning for the future.
Yeah, exactly. We're hoping for a new CogBox release, probably early next year. We're kind of finalizing the feature set Paul's been working on. So if you have ideas for that, get them out there soon. We'll see if we can get them in for the next release. Keep an eye out. We will likely do another live stream once we have that available.
So
we're about at time here, Paul. Any final things that you wanted to do quick?
I'll show one thing that I've been working on in my spare time. So this is the AI Insights button. You can select which model you want to use. You can also give it instructions. So please analyze the attached data, return a response describing the data in natural language. I'm also specifying the colors to use. And I can also specify the comment's location. So in this case, I added a text item to the dashboard. And I use the widget picker to select it. And now when I click on the cool robot head, this says loading, please wait. And I tested this 10 minutes before the live stream. There it goes. And now we have this. And we click on close and save response, and it goes in here. And the weird part is that the colors disappeared. The colors were working fine before.
So describe a little bit better what's going on here, Paul. What
So
is
what's
it doing?
going on is it's extracting the underlying data from this visualization. It's packaging everything up and sending it to the large language model of choice. In this case, it's an open artificial intelligence system that I'm not allowed to say the name of because IBM will get annoyed at me. And then it will get the data back, and it'll get the response and put it back on the screen. I have a number of different models that I support in here. So we can try Granite 20B multilingual. Some models are better than others, I've found. Like this one is not returning anything. Let's try Llama 7.
Gotcha. So it's taking this information, so sending the data from this particular visualization off to a large language model, giving it that prompt that you showed, the instruction prompt, and then getting some insights back, essentially.
Exactly. And this will work with any visualization. We can take an existing demo dashboard. We can just drop that in. So let's go to samples, by feature, core, dashboards, do the product line dashboard, edit. So we can go into here, create AI insights. Let's shrink this all a little bit. That can go there, that can go there. We'll add a text widget here. Hopefully that'll be big enough. We'll select this one. Comment location is there. Please analyze the attached data and return any insights in natural language. The data refers to revenue by product line or retailer type. Right?
Okay, so you give it a little bit of an idea of what the information is that it's looking at.
Exactly. That just helps the AI model understand what it's doing. I thought I paused notifications. Hi, Randy. And there we go.
Oh, it even gives you a table.
Yeah. And table doesn't look so good when we add it here, but I can work on that.
Gotcha. So a little bit more information. Like I know there are insights available from Cognos itself.
Yeah.
You turn them on.
If we do the narrative insights in here, so we can compare. I personally prefer this simply because it's giving us a response that we can work with. It's a little bit more personal, I think.
Yeah, and more configurable. You could ask for something different in your prompt, right? If you wanted to look at a particular way or ask other questions.
Exactly.
Super cool. Yeah, in the works. We'll see if there is interest in that. If somebody has interest in looking at that in more detail, let us know. It's cool new world out there with LLMs and AI all over the place. Seems like a useful way to incorporate it into your data analytics.
Yeah. And I guess there's one more thing I'd love to show off, if we still have a minute.
Go quick.
Okay. So, for a very, very long time, people have been asking for ways of watching an object. Like, I want to know when this object finishes running. What if it fails? What if it succeeds? So, I've added let's click on somewhere, watch this icon, uh, extension. So we click on watch this, and we have the watch objects list, and we can say, I want to run this in the background. And it doesn't tell you as soon as it's over. It usually takes about 5 minutes. I'm only checking every 5 minutes.
Hmm.
But as soon as it finishes running, we'll get a notification up here, such and such report or such and such job finished executing with the status of success or failure. If we reload, here it goes. Report finished. New report is finished with the status succeeded.
Nice. So if you have a report that you really like and want to know when it gets updated, or a report that takes a long time to run, maybe.
Report that takes a long time to run, a job that's very important that you need to know if it fails or if it succeeds, whatever it is. Any object in Cognos that supports a schedule, I've added watch this item to.
Nice. And that's available now or in the next release?
It'll be available the next release in
Next release.
January.
Okay. Another sneak peek. All right.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. A lot more to come. But we probably should wrap up there, Paul.
Okay, fine.
Save something for the next time. But anyway, thank you, Paul. That's always exciting to see what new features are there, what we can look forward to. Appreciate you digging into all of those and helping people out.
It's really my pleasure.
All right. With that, thanks everybody. Call out for next week's live stream. There'll be another one next Wednesday. I'm trying to remember what that one is. I'm sure Angie will post a link out here. I know in 2 weeks we're doing one on our managed services because I'm on that one for SaaS Anywhere. So be sure to come back, listen to us then, or as always, check out our YouTube channel for all of these videos later. So thanks everybody. Thanks, Paul.
My pleasure. Good night.